everybody. We are glad to be here, Bill. We have a little bit of an echo. We're glad to be here getting ready for tonight's ball game between Chester Cyclones and the Clinton Red Devils. There's a championship game going on here tonight, guys.
Yeah, I'm excited.
The Cyclones welcome in the number 3 ranked teams in the state of South Carolina, 3A, and the Clinton Red Devils, they're undefeated on the season, and the Cyclones come into this game 6-3 on the season. The game, they lost to Lancaster, then they lost to South Point, and lost to Catawba Ridge. Outside of the first week of the season, Jeff, no shame in the 2 losses to South Point and Catawba Ridge.
No, the one thing about tonight's game is our guys are battle-tested. We played, again, you mentioned the first game. We look back now and we're like, man, wish we had that one, but we didn't. But certainly played a good South Point team and a really good Catawba Ridge team. So I don't think the Cyclones tonight are intimidated by anybody.
No, I tell you one thing: the number 3 team in South Carolina comes in here undefeated. If they're looking for a team that's going to roll over because they're ranked number 3 and undefeated, they got another thing coming, don't they, Jimbo?
Yeah, they better go somewhere else because it ain't going to happen here.
Cyclones, I was out at practice on Tuesday. They're ready to go. They're excited. This is a game for the region championship. Cyclones beat Emerald last week in what was really a dominant second half performance. The last 2 weeks, Cyclones have had a dominant first half against Union County and a dominant second half against Emerald. Jim and I both saw that, and they haven't been able to put 2 games together, I think, or two halves together so far. Hopefully tonight is the night they've been able to do that. They started really slow. Jeff, last game you were with us was Woodruff, first game of the region, and welcome back. We're glad to have you back with us. But that first game of the season, first game of the region season against Woodruff started out really slow for a first quarter.
Yeah, well, my recollection serves me right. Woodruff wasn't real creative offensively either, and so that might have had a lot to do with the pace of the game. But I listened in for the Union game and didn't get to listen last week. Jimbo was texting me the scores. Unfortunately, I was not able to listen. But look, they're undefeated in the region. This is all those days in the summertime when they're early morning workouts and 7:07. This is the reason you come. This is the reason you play, guys.
Oh, absolutely. This is the reason you get after it, and you see what you can do as you try to make it happen. And, the Cyclones come out tonight. It's a special night here. Of course, they got pink sweatshirts on. Coach Blake Peeler out there with the pink sweatshirt on, representing and remembering breast cancer awareness, and we're so thankful for that. But it's a special night. I was at practice. Coach Jerry Caldwell kept talking to his defense, saying, I heard there's a championship game. Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that? And master motivation. And so we'll see what the Cyclones have in store. This is what you're here to do. And I was talking to Brian Wilmer, our friend from the Herald, and Brian was a guy who was here for the South Point game and said, he believes this is one of Coach Floyd's best coaching performances. And I think really from the Chapman game last year and the playoffs, that run, and then the end of this year, Coach Floyd his X's and O's. He's always been a master motivator. He's always been a good football coach. But I think X's and O's have gone to a new level.
The play calling this year has been phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely.
And spot on. It's like, man, how does he know to do that at that point in time?
Right.
It just worked.
Right.
And, of course, got to give the kids credit, too, for executing.
Oh, absolutely. And the kids are there, and they're making the plays, and they're putting themselves in position to do so. So we get ready for tonight's game. Jim Fuller with me, Jeff Kerr. I'm Clint Davis. Thank you for joining us here. Bill, we thank you for being with us always there at the studio. You're our man of the hour there, getting us on. We appreciate all the work you do. And if I had somebody to Uber you some food, I would. But I don't have anybody to do that, so please forgive me. With that said, we'll take a break, and we'll be back. This is Chester High School football on WRBK.
Tonight's Cyclone football coverage on WRBK made possible in part by Dr. Sam Stone and his staff at Lowry's Family Medicine in Chester. Lowry's Family Medicine provides health care from birth to the golden ages and is located at 517 Doctors Court off of Wilson Street Extension. Dr. Sam Stone and his staff are proud supporters of the Chester Cyclones.
Tonight's Chester Cyclone football game is made possible in part by First Citizens Bank. At First Citizens, we believe that banking is all about the people we serve, and we work hard every day to make sure our customers know how we feel. First Citizens Bank with offices in Richburg and Chester. That's First Citizen Bank, forever first.
Tonight's Cyclone football action made possible in part by True Vista Communications, Chester's provider for high-speed broadband, video, voice, wireless, security, and smart home solutions. They're available online at truevista.net or at a True Vista Customer Experience store located in Chester, Camden, Great Falls, and Winsboro.
Tonight's game's made possible in part by Lowry's Auto Shop, located 2461 Lowry's Highway beside the Lowry's One Stop. It's your one stop for auto truck repair, including diesel engines. They also do repair on some farm equipment, including tractors and other farm equipment. Services include complete lube, full tire service, complete tune-ups, minor engine repair, and lawnmower repair. Towing's available if needed. That's Lowry's Auto Shop, 803-209-9139.
All right, back here at Chester High School Stadium, Clint Davis along with Jeff Kerr, Jim Fuller. I got Joshua Davis to my left. He's an honorary member of the broadcast crew. Here, Joshua, plug that in down there and you can charge the phone. But as we get started, we get ready for tonight's game. Both teams on the field for warm-ups. I talked to Coach Floyd this week as we got ready for tonight's game, and I was out at practice on Tuesday. And he said, Clint, we're as healthy as we have been as we could possibly be at this moment in the game. Jalen Moss still out with a growing injury, just a nagging growing. He'll be long snapping for kicks and punts, but as far as playing linebacker, he won't play. Maurice Feaster dealing with a little bit of an issue as well, but outside of that, the Cyclones are pretty healthy. They've got Reggie Heath back after he got some treatments with a hamstring. Shadi McCullough back after he got some treatments with some hamstring. Of course, Trooper's still healthy, and Antonio Hopkins back on the field tonight as he's been able to be very successful on the field. The issue for Clinton coming into the game, they've got some injuries. Starting quarterback went out and had it with an ACL last week against Woodruff. Had a big win, but a costly win. They scored 70 points last week, but they lost a quarterback, and they also lost a starting linebacker who would have been down with a knee. He's on crutches on the sideline as well. So we wish both of those guys quick recoveries. Obviously, the guy with the ACL, the quarterback, will be back hopefully next year. Hopefully his season, his career's not over, but what a tough way to go out. But he had surgery today, a successful surgery. We're thankful for that. But the young man on crutches, a linebacker, they're hoping will be back by the first round of the playoffs. So coming in, both teams fairly healthy, but two big losses for Clinton at home. Clinton on the road against the Cyclone defense is going to come after them. The Cyclone offense is going to come after them. So we'll see how that goes. Initial thoughts, man. Give them to me.
Well, first of all, excited to be back. Missed you guys the last couple of weeks. As you know, Clint had a granddaughter that was born. And then I was in Arizona for a week. So we were gone 15 days, and I had to keep up with you guys on the app, and then Fuller's texting. So it's great to be back. Just call me Big Game Jeff.
Well, you show up for the big games. First region game here. Last region game here. Championship game, Jeff, here. That's what we expect. That works for this year. You did miss, I'm not going to lay this one out there too hard, but you did miss the Upper State Championship last year.
I did.
Throwing that one out there.
I did miss it. You're 100% right. I missed it.
So this year, 2022 season, Big Game Jeff. But we're glad you're back with us. We appreciate you being here. We've got Jimbo down at the other end as well. We'll take another break. We'll come back, talk about some games in the region, some big ones in Rock Hill. Perhaps the biggest one up in the York County way will be next week, but we'll talk about some games up there and games around the region as we get started tonight. Cyclone football, WRBK.
Barron Funeral Home at 133 Wiley Street in Chester and Dancer Baker Funeral Home located at 26 Underwood Avenue in Great Falls are proud to help bring you tonight's broadcast of the Chester High School football game. They wish the Cyclones great success this season. The staff of Barron Funeral Home and Dancer Baker Funeral Home continue to serve the people of Chester County with courtesy and dignity.
This broadcast of Chester Cyclone football is made possible by Polk Bell Bonds, serving Chester County for over 30 years. Polk Bell Bonds executes surety bonds in all state or federal courts and can provide GPS, electronic, or alcohol monitoring. Ned Polk is available anytime at 581-POLK, 482-POLK, 789-POLK, and 872-2222. Polk Bell Bonds.
For over 77 years, Fairfield Electric Cooperative has delivered electric energy to our consumer owners. As a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we are part of a nationwide community of local, not-for-profit cooperatives committed to enhancing our customers' lives and livelihoods by providing reliable power, high-quality customer-focused service, and valuable products and services. We're Fairfield Electric Cooperative, your Touchstone Energy partner. Proud to be a part of tonight's Cyclone football coverage on WRBK.
Relax on and off the field with Founders Federal Credit Union. With services like Founders Online and Founders App, you'll enjoy local personalized service. Joining Founders Federal Credit Union is easy. Relax, join Founders.com or at one of the more than 30 office locations to see if you qualify for membership. Relax, go Cyclones. Services require credit evaluation. Terms and conditions apply. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
All right, back here at Cyclone Stadium, Chester Cyclones getting ready for tonight's game between the Clinton Red Devils and the Cyclones as they host them here in town as this Chester football team and the Red Devils go together to decide the region championship. This is Region 4, I think it is. And Clinton's out here kicking, got number 86. Keegan Fortman, the place kicker, he's quite a weapon, Jeff. He just kicked a 35-yard field goal in warm-ups. And so Clinton's got a lot of players on the field. Interestingly speaking, they've got 23 seniors. That's roughly 45% of their roster are seniors. This is a team that went to Daniel in the third round of the state playoffs last year, had a really good run, and lost pretty handily down there, but they were able to run pretty deep into the playoffs. And so they're welcoming back not only a lot of experience and age, but a lot of talent as well. And so we'll see what they're able to do tonight against this Cyclone football team that's going to certainly come out here ready to go and ready to fire on all cylinders. If the Cyclones could find themselves starting the game strong, I think the Cyclones will be able to do something tonight against these Red Devils. The Red Devils running up and down the field, Jimbo, trying a little bit of intimidation tactics. That's what you and the Columbia High Capitals used to do.
But you know what? That is gone now. There is no intimidation of the Columbia High Capitals.
They're trying to be all mouthy. That's fine. Coach Victor Floyd's got his team ready to go. They're just taking it in, clapping, doing their thing.
All that's fine and well, boys. You can do all that you want, but at the end of the day, you got to play the game.
That's exactly
you
right.
Can run your mouth. You can chant and all that chanting and cheerleading and all that. That's all fine and well, but at the end of the day, you just got to come out and play. Look, they're going to come out. Chester's going to have to manage their emotions in this game because it could get a little chippy.
Oh, I think it can. I think it sure can. And I think you're exactly right, Jeff. And we'll see how that goes as the night gets ready and progresses on. But Clinton's out here on the field. They're fired up. Cyclones out here in blue uniforms, their home uniforms. They're getting ready to go, stretching, just taking the mindset of their head coach. Just steady, be about your business, get your minds focused, and get after it. And that's what we expect to see the Cyclones do. It's what we've come to expect in the Victor Floyd eras. And we'll see how that goes as we get going. Let's talk about a couple games as we get started here tonight. Thinking about some games around the region. A couple big ones in lower divisions and one in a big division. We got 5A division going on over there in Gaffney, South Carolina, in Cherokee County as the Dorman Cavaliers drive up I-85 to take on the Gaffney Indians at the reservation. I think this is going to be a well of a football game. Those two teams coming in here, it's going to be a slobber knocker. They're ready to go. Both of them have aspirations of winning a state championship and getting after, of course, Gaffney defending 5A state champions. I don't know who to pick here. I tend to go with the home team, but it pains me, Jeff, to think about the Indians potentially getting that victory.
I'm going to tell you, Gaffney's had a weird year, though. You know, they started out struggling, and then they've really kind of turned it on a little bit. But I still like Gaffney at the reservation. I just think that's worth 7 points.
I got to agree with what Clint said. You know,
of course.
We've been together a long time, Jim.
Maybe we've been together too long. Okay, you want to go against Clint?
Nope. Nope. I want to be on an island.
Okay, all right. You be on the island.
Well, I haven't made a pick yet. I just have a hard time picking Gaffney, but I think Dorman's going to get it done on the road tonight in Gaffney at the reservation. They'll have to fight their way out of there, but I think they'll try to get it done the best they can.
You're not going to beat the University of Dorman.
All right, Jimbo's going Dorman there. Another game that is of some interest to many of our, I should say a lot of interest to many of our listeners, is Louisville on the road at Whitmire. Louisville's got to drive down Highway 72 to Whitmire, to the best little speed trap in South Carolina.
I knew that was
outside of McBee, South Carolina.
I was going to say McBee would be right there.
The only difference between Whitmire and McBee is McLeod Farms, and so I've got to give Whitmire the nod just simply because McBee the nod because simply of McLeod Farms.
Is it because you've gotten caught more times in McBee than you have in Whitmire?
I have been caught in McBee, yes, I have been. The guy hiding in a doggone car wash pulled me over, entrapment, but they didn't seem to buy that. So, Louisville has a chance to go on the road. I'll tell you what, that Louisville quarterback Grissom is on fire. He is throwing the football all over the field. He's either a freshman or sophomore. I've heard varying reports. Travis Jenkins may be listening. He can tell us one way or the other. But I think Louisville goes on the road, gets it done at Whitmire, clinches their region tonight, and I think has a chance to really make a move to a really special football season down there in Richburg, South Carolina.
Yeah,
I agree with that.
Travis has texted me as a sophomore. Sophomore. Yeah, I think Louisville's going to get it done on the road tonight. I just think offensively they're too good.
Yeah, they wore Great Falls out. I think Great Falls has the night. Great Falls hosts McBee. They host the Panthers of McBee, and the best thing that Great Falls, and I hate to say it, I love the Red Devils and Coach Mr. Bobby Lyles down there in Pride Valley in Great Falls, and I really want them to win, but I'm not sure the guests from McBee are going to be very hospitable to the Red Devils. Red Devils just don't have many numbers. They only grabbed, Jeff, get this, last week against Louisville, the Red Devils dressed 17 players.
Good grief. Didn't even have a scrimmage.
No, they couldn't have a scrimmage. They dressed 17 players against Louisville last week. Red Devils are going to have a tough shot tonight against the Panthers. Unfortunately, I think the McBee Panthers are going to come over, and they would do all the Red Devils fans a favor by bringing them a peach enchilada from McLeod Farms. Wouldn't they, Jimbo?
Yeah, as much as I want as much as I want Great Falls when I hope they do, I hope I'm wrong, but I think McBee's going to be a little bit too much, and per Travis, McBee's got to win to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think McBee's got to win. I don't think Great Falls has much to stop them, and unfortunately, Great Falls is a team that's just really low on numbers. You got 17 players. You're trying to play 48 minutes of football. That means everybody, for the most part, has got to go both ways. That's just almost an impossible task, and at this level, that's why 8-man football exists in smaller schools. Great Falls obviously doesn't play 8-man football, so hopefully they put something together tonight, but I think McBee gets it done. We'll take a break and we'll be back. This is Chester High School football on WRBK.
Tonight's Cyclone football made possible by Burns Chevrolet Cadillac in Rock Hill. Serving the area since 1923 and located off I-77, exit 82B in Rock Hill. Burns has new Chevrolet and Cadillacs along with a selection of pre-owned vehicles, including buy here, pay here. Burns Chevrolet Cadillac, 800-681-7198 or online at BurnsChevrolet.com. Your right choice.
Made possible in part by Joe's Towing and Wrecker Service. Joe's Towing and Wrecker Service located at 2581 Lancaster Road in Chester. They offer local and long-distance towing, heavy-duty towing, and service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Joe's also does big truck repair, truck and tractor tire service. More information is available at 803-581-5720 or 803-385-8610. That's Joe's Towing and Wrecker Service.
Tonight's Cyclone football action made possible in part by True Vista Communications, Chester's provider for high-speed broadband, video, voice, wireless, security, and smart home solutions. They're available online at truevista.net or at a True Vista customer experience store located in Chester, Camden, Great Falls, and Winsboro.
Tonight's Chester Cyclone football game is made possible in part by First Citizens Bank. At First Citizens, we believe that banking is all about the people we serve, and we work hard every day to make sure our customers know how we feel. First Citizens Bank with offices in Richburg and Chester. That's First Citizen Bank, forever first.
All right, back here at Chester High School Stadium. Cyclones getting ready to play the Clinton Red Devils at 7:30. We are about 38 minutes from kick here in Chester, South Carolina, to play this championship football game between the Red Devils of Clinton High School and the Cyclones of Chester County. Let's talk about a couple other games of Chester High School. As we talk about a couple games as we go through our area, a couple big games in the Rock Hill and York County area that we always like to discuss and just talk about a little bit as we go through. Big game up over in Lancaster at Memorial Stadium. The York Cougars are playing much better football this year on the road at the Bruins High School, at the Bruins of Lancaster High School in Memorial Stadium in Lancaster. You know, one of the things that's been shocking to me, Jeff, you were here first week of the season, as was Jim, but one of the things that kind of struck me with reference to Lancaster is I really expected Lancaster to do something as the season went on more than what they've done. And I don't know if playing Chester the first week of the season was kind of an aberration or what, but it just seemed to me that they haven't really put together the type of football game that I anticipated, or football season that I anticipated them having.
Yeah, you know, when you look back at that game and certainly seeing how their seasons turned out, you think that's one we should have got away from us. If I recall, we had about 14 penalties in the first half.
12.
And we had, if I'm not mistaken, I know we had one kickoff return for a touchdown and another one almost returned back. So when I look back over Lancaster's season, that might have been the best game they played all year, and quite honestly, I think we gave them the game, but they did win the game. But to your point, Clint, I think their season's not gone the way it has. I look for York to win, and I look for York to win big tonight.
Yeah, I think you're exactly right. I think York gets it done on the road. What you got, Jimbo?
I think Lancaster got us at a weak moment. I think we were all hyped up first game of the year, everything going. Then we got all those penalties in the first quarter, and then went downhill from there.
Yeah, I think York gets it done, and I appreciate it. And I want to apologize to you on air for calling you and asking your opinion while you were eating. That's of most importance. So you get that sandwich down, Jimbo.
It's gone.
Okay, good. I don't want to distract you any.
No,
all right.
Do that.
The Rock Hill Bearcats are hosting the Blythewood Bengals. This is a big win. Rock Hill's got to get a victory tonight in order to make the playoffs, I believe is what I heard from folks at OTS Media who cover all these games in Rock Hill and in York County. Blythewood on the road at Rock Hill at District 3 Stadium. A lot on the line for the Bearcats. Unfortunately, I just don't, Jeff. I as much as I want Bubba Pittman to win and be successful, he's just not had a very good tenure. He's really struggled, and this year has not been much different. I just don't know if they got enough for the Bengals tonight at District 3.
It ain't happening tonight, Clint. You know, and I'm old enough to remember when Bubba Pittman played quarterback at Rock Hill High and watching him play. I would love to see Rock Hill win. Have a little bit of allegiance towards the Bearcats, but I just don't think they got enough to get it done. And who knows, this could be Bubba's last game as a Rock Hill coach. You never know.
Well, that's right. And have they already played Northwestern?
Yeah, they played them earlier. It was ugly.
It was ugly in the season. So, because I know Northwestern's got to end it off with a big one next week. What you got, Jimbo?
Well, I agree. I don't know what's happened to Rock Hill. They used to be strong, really, really strong. And I thought Coach Pittman would bring them back up to that level, but it just hasn't happened. I don't know whether it's athletes. I mean, it could be a bunch of things.
I can tell you what happened to them. High Point High School.
Oh, absolutely.
That's true. Took all the players.
Took a good portion of a lot of the really where their attendance zones were.
Yeah.
Took a lot of really good players.
Absolutely. I think you're exactly right, Jeff, and they've really gone down from that point on. All right, one more before we take another break here, and that is Nation Forward, the Falcons on the road tonight. They got to travel down I-77 to Northeast Columbia to play the Fighting Mike Enix at Spring Valley. The Vikings, I believe they're the Vikings. The Vikings
that is correct.
The Vikings will host the Falcons from Nation Forward. Nation Forward has really, every year we have write-ups in the newspaper. Every year we expect more out of Nation Forward than what they're able to put together on the field. They have had a disappointing season, at least I would imagine, based off some of the preseason hype that we heard. But I just think at home, Spring Valley, team has got to go that far. That's an hour drive or so down I-77, not having a lot of very good success, not a lot of confidence. I got to go Spring Valley at home.
It wouldn't matter if they were playing in Fort Mill. Spring Valley's going to win.
Spring Valley going to get them?
Yeah.
All right, what you got, Jimbo?
I got it. I'll go Spring Valley. I wouldn't go against Mike Enoch.
There you go. All right, we'll take a break, and we'll be back. This is Chester High School football on WRBK.
Tonight's broadcast of Cyclone football made possible in part by Chester County Natural Gas Authority. As Chester County Natural Gas celebrates 60 years of service to their customers, they remind you natural gas is the most efficient and effective way to heat your water, heat your home, dry your clothes, and cook your meals. Contact Chester County Natural Gas Authority Monday to begin enjoying the comfort and affordability of clean burning and efficient natural gas.
Barron Funeral Home at 133 Wiley Street in Chester and Dancer Baker Funeral Home located at 26 Underwood Avenue in Great Falls are proud to help bring you tonight's broadcast of the Chester High School football game. They wish the Cyclones great success this season. The staff of Barron Funeral Home and Dancer Baker Funeral Home continue to serve the people of Chester County with courtesy and dignity.
Tonight's Cyclone football coverage on WRBK made possible in part by Dr. Sam Stone and his staff at Lowry's Family Medicine in Chester. Located at 517 Doctor's Court off of Wilson Street Extension. Dr. Sam Stone and his staff are proud supporters of the Chester Cyclones.
Tonight's Chester Cyclone football game is made possible in part by Hamilton, Delaney, Greer, and Cotton, attorneys at law providing legal services since 1907. Attorneys Milton Hamilton, Greg Delaney, Brian Greer, and Nick Cotton have a general practice of law with offices in Chester and Rock Hill. Hamilton, Delaney, Greer, and Cotton support all the schools in Chester County.
You're listening to Cyclone football on WRBK Richburg, WNBK Whitmire, WEBK Society Hill, WUBK Inner.
All right, back here at Chester High School, this is Clint Davis along with Jeff Kerr and Jim Fuller. As we get started here tonight, we are excited about bringing in tonight's ball game to you. We are about 31 minutes from kick here at Chester High School. Clinton Red Devils are on the field getting ready for tonight's ball game, as are the Cyclones. Trooper Floyd running his offense and going through a few plays. We'll see what the Cyclones are able to do. You know, coming into tonight's game, we've been talking about games around the region. We'll talk more about them, but let's just introduce back to our audience, to you guys, what's happening tonight here in Chester. This game is for the region championship, and this game is for the region championship. Clinton comes into this ball game ranked number 3 in the state, undefeated on the season. Cyclones come in not ranked in the state, but receiving votes. But the Cyclones come into this ball game 6-3 on the season. But both are 3. Clinton's 2-0 in the region. Cyclones 3-0 in the region. Clinton finishes up next week against Emerald at home, which shouldn't be much of a challenge for him, Jimbo.
No, not what we saw.
Not what we saw. So as we come into tonight's game, this game is for the region championship. A lot on the line. The winner both teams are guaranteed a home playoff game unless Clinton loses both tonight and next week. But the Cyclones are guaranteed at least a home playoff game. The winner could conceivably be at home, provided continuing to win for 3 rounds of the playoffs, then go on the road for the upper state. That's a huge, huge advantage, especially somewhere like Chester. So a lot on the line as we go through a championship, but also potential home playoff games for the foreseeable future if Cyclones are able to pull this one out over the Red Devils. A lot on the line tonight. We'll talk more about this one, but Jeff, as you kind of think about it, that's an enticing thought to think about. You could be at home. If you're a coach, you want your team at home and people coming into Chester.
Well, there's from the psychological piece of it, you get to play 3 home games, right? You don't have to get on a bus and drive. And, you know, when you get in the playoffs, it's not uncommon to have to take a 2-hour bus drive.
Right.
And so and then, you know, when I look at from the other aspect, the financial aspect, how much it helps the athletic department when you get 3 home playoff games.
Well, I tell you, and that's very important right now. We get all the money we need. We are very fortunate that we have good crowds. We have good turnouts here at home, which is always helpful. And I assume we'll have another good one tonight.
No, I think you're exactly right. So let's talk about a couple other games here as we go around the region. We'll come back and finish up with some of the big games in York County tonight. We've got Spartanburg on the road at Bowling Springs. That's a game that is always a fiery football game. Both of them separated by a few miles in Spartanburg County. Bowling Springs is winning, and they're starting to win. Some there, Spartanburg on the road. I just think Spartanburg, usually the Vikings are tough. I don't know anything about either team this year, and so I think Spartanburg gets it done on the road?
I'm going with the known Vikings
You going with the Vikings on the road?
on the road.
I got to be different.
You going Bowling Springs?
I'm going to Bowling Springs because my granddaughter's new husband is from Bowling Springs.
Well, there you go. That's about as good as me picking the Eagles nest, Clover because of the Eagles nest.
That's right.
I picked Spartanburg because of, what's the drive-in there in Spartanburg? What is that place? Sugar and Spice.
No.
Yeah, that's the one. Sugar and Spice right there on Pine Street. You come in, it's so good.
Yeah, that's the old Greek restaurant.
Yeah, I don't care about the Beacon. I don't care about walking and talking. I don't want to walk and talk. I don't like walk and talk. No, I'm good. I'm good. All right, another one here that maybe has some implications for, it doesn't have any implications, just of interest to us. We've got Clover on the road at Fort Mill. Fort Mill's an 0 for. They're 0 for 8. I really thought we were up there. Of course, now they played Chester tough. Now, Chester came out of a difficult first game, kind of a hangover after playing at Lancaster at home and really struggling that first game of the season. Went to Fort Mill the second game of the season. The first quarter and a half of Fort Mill, before the lightning delay, the Cyclones were just kind of dead going through the motions. Really had to wake up. They woke up, but Fort Mill still played them tough. Fort Mill always plays Chester tough for the most part. I really thought they would get a victory at some point.
That was the game that never ended.
That's the game that went on, until after
the next day. We played it in 2 days.
We finished the first quarter at 10 o'clock.
Yes, that's right.
We got home at 1.
That's right.
But we did get an apple fritter.
Yes, we did.
We got to the QT at late enough where the new batch came through. We did the same thing last week in Clinton on the way home from Greenwood.
We sure did.
Nice.
Clint walked out and said, I got some for you, Jimbo. That's a fresh apple fritter.
There you go. So, Fort Mill is going to be 0-9 after tonight, guys.
Yeah, unfortunately, Blue Eagles get it done. I just really had high hopes for the meal, at least win. I know the coach there had to make some changes and was told to make some changes. He brought in a new defense coordinator, new offense coordinator, and I really thought maybe they would get something done this week, but apparently they're unable to be successful, and they hadn't got anything done. I don't think they get anything done tonight. I think the Blue Eagles get it done on the road. Eagles Nest, Texas Toast Grilled Cheeseburger for the win.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, guys.
I agree.
You got it? All right, let's take another break, and we'll come back. It's senior night here at Chester High School. We'll be honoring our seniors in a few moments for our fall athletics, and certainly we got 6 football players who will be honored, and they've all been very instrumental in the development of this football program. So we'll be honoring them as we come back. This is Chester High School football on WRBK.
This broadcast of Chester Cyclone football is made possible by Polk Bell Bonds, serving Chester County for over 30 years. Polk Bell Bonds executes surety bonds in all state or federal courts and can provide GPS, electronic, or alcohol monitoring. Ned Polk is available anytime at 581-POLK, 482-POLK, 789-POLK, and 872-2222. Polk Bell Bonds.
For over 77 years, Fairfield Electric Cooperative has delivered electric energy to our consumer owners. As a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we are part of a nationwide community of local, not-for-profit cooperatives committed to enhancing our customers' lives and livelihoods by providing reliable power, high-quality customer-focused service, and valuable products and services. We're Fairfield Electric Cooperative, your Touchstone Energy partner. Proud to be a part of tonight's Cyclone football coverage on WRBK.
This Cyclone football game is made possible in part by Quacked Glass, your mobile auto glass replacement service. Quack Glass will come to you and solve your glass auto needs. Quack Glass is American-owned and Carolina-grown. They're serving both North and South Carolina, and now with offices at Carowinds and 2708 Flat Creek Road, Lancaster. 866-787-8225 or online at quackglass.com. You can trust the Ducks.
Save like a pro with Founders Federal Credit Union. Founders Loyalty Select account gives you the opportunity to grow your savings at their best rate yet. Fund your account through your favorite Loyalty Select product to get savings today. Visit RelaxJoinFounders.com or one of their more than 30 office locations to see if you qualify for membership. Go Cyclones. Service requires credit evaluation. Terms and conditions apply. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
All right, back here at Cyclone Stadium, getting ready to honor our seniors as they make their way on the field. Number 3, Andre Evans, certainly thankful for his work for the Chester football Cyclones. Number 31, Shadim McCullough, playing his last home game as a regular season home game as a Chester High School football player. Got some looks for some schools. I saw Newberry here a couple weeks ago and several others who were looking at him, and they were excited about that for him. That young man's played hard and played really strong. Number 40, Jalen Moss as well. Jalen's had a pretty injured senior career or senior campaign. He's not been as successful as he had hoped to be coming into the season, but he's been hurt with a groin and hampered by that, but a long snapper and making some plays with that. Number 42, Cortez Woods, big defensive tackle. He'll get a lot of playing time tonight, has all season, and is a disruptor up front for the Cyclones. Number 58, Gabe Hope. Gabe will be on the offensive line and also at times be in the H-back position. It looks like, though, he's not wearing his H-back number tonight. He may change it at some point in the game, but he may be offensive line, may have some indications as to the game plan of Coach Victor Floyd. Going to have him more in the offensive line number. Number 61, Jordan Land as well for the Cyclones, who an offensive right guard. He's been playing for the last couple of years. Has really grown. He's really the captain of that offensive front for the Cyclones. Coach Floyd has put a lot of confidence. He and Coach Dodson put a lot of confidence in Jordan to be able to make the calls up front, and he is the guy who gets everybody in the right position, and so we appreciate him, and certainly we'll miss him as the season goes on and as the years go on. And then lastly, number 75, and this is a great story, Joez McCullough. Joez is a large young man, and he has finally gotten himself into football playing shape. It took him about 2 years. He worked really hard. He's dropped some weight, gotten himself in more football playing shape, and he's been an integral part of that left guard position for the Cyclones this season. He and Trevonte Weldon on the left side have opened up most of the holes that Shadim McCullough has run through and Antonio Hopkins have run through as the season has gone on to be able to score points. And so we just certainly want to take our hats off to Joez and his family as they join him on the field. And these young men got people here to support them and encourage them, and we just appreciate all they've done and the way they've led our high school football team and played their hearts out for the Chester Blue and Red Cyclones there, Jimbo.
Yes, sir. We have been very fortunate in that we have a great group of seniors this year. You won after last year. God, what are we going to do like next year? But every one of these young men have made a contribution to this team and where we are as of right now going into the playoffs.
Oh, absolutely. And so I think they're very much integral in leadership and putting us in a position to be able to play for a championship tonight. Coming into the season, you look at the team and you say, this is a young football team. It's a team that doesn't have a lot of senior experience, but they've got a lot of experience, but they're still young. They had some growing pains, but to get them to this point, had some numbers issues with some injuries and some suspensions early in the season. These leaders held them together and they really got after it, and we appreciate these young men. We appreciate Coach Floyd, Coach Dodson, Coach Caldwell, Coach Talkman, Coach Campbell, and the rest of the men down there, Coach Darrell, Coach Peeler, Coach Peyton Stillwell, and others just working with these folks and investing in them. So we salute our seniors tonight as we get ready. 19 minutes till kick here in Chester. Cyclones welcome in the Red Devils of Clinton. We'll take a break and we'll be back. This is Chester High School football on WRBK.
Barron Funeral Home at 133 Wiley Street in Chester and Dancer Baker Funeral Home located at 26 Underwood Avenue in Great Falls are proud to help bring you tonight's broadcast of the Chester High School football game. They wish the Cyclones great success this season. The staff of Barron Funeral Home and Dancer Baker Funeral Home continue to serve the people of Chester County with courtesy and dignity.
Tonight's game's made possible in part by Lowry's Auto Shop, located 2461 Lowry's Highway beside the Lowry's One Stop. It's your one stop for auto truck repair, including diesel engines. They also do repair on some farm equipment, including tractors and other farm equipment. Services include complete lube, full tire service, complete tune-ups, minor engine repair, and lawnmower repair. Towing's available if needed. That's Lowry's Auto Shop, 803-209-9139. Tonight's Chester Cyclone football game is made possible in part by First Citizens Bank. At First Citizens, we believe that banking is all about the people we serve, and we work hard every day to make sure our customers know how we feel. First Citizens Bank with offices in Richburg and Chester. That's First Citizen Bank, forever first.
Tonight's Cyclone football action made possible in part by True Vista Communications, Chester's provider for high-speed broadband, video, voice, wireless, security, and smart home solutions. They're available online at truevista.net or at a True Vista Customer Experience store located in Chester, Camden, Great Falls, and Winsboro.
All right, back here at Cyclone Stadium, just honored the seniors tonight. Jeff, as we get ready for this one, we've got a couple more games to discuss around our region. Really the big one taking place, really just one left, two big ones left. Northwestern on the road at South Point, District 3 Stadium. Northwestern goes on the road. They don't go far. They just go down to South Point High School. South Point, defending 4A state champions, lost a lot of good talent from last year's team. Lost Coach Davante Holloman. He went down to South Carolina on Coach Shane Beamer's staff. And got a new coach in, Coach Bobby Collins. We saw South Point midway through the season, and I'll tell you, I wasn't. That team just wasn't at the same level. Nothing against them. They just weren't at the same level as they were last year. That happens, right? That team last year was special. And you go through those periods. Coach Collins comes in, a lot of transition, a lot of changes. I don't think South Point can hang with Northwestern at home tonight.
They've had a lot of special seasons at South Point.
Yes, they have,
in a
for
short
sure.
period of time. And you know, Northwestern's been on the other side of some beatdowns over there. And I think tonight the Trojans are going to beat down the Stallions. I think it's going to be ugly.
Yeah, Northwestern's throwing the football all over the field. Our friend Brian Wilmer will be there from the Herald, and he'll be tweeting out updates, and so we look forward to getting those. But I tell you, Jimbo, Stallions are going to have a tough task against the Trojans tonight.
Yeah, I never thought that I would say, South Point's got it made, but boy, Northwestern's going to whip up on them tonight.
I think so, too. Unfortunately, I just don't think they can cover. You know, one of the things they had a problem with us is they tried to stick man-to-man coverage. We're going to see that out of Clinton tonight, and it hurt them here, and we'll see if the Cyclones can hurt Clinton with man-to-man coverage tonight as well. They're going to do a lot of single high safety, a lot of man-press coverage in matchup zone. So last game up in the York County area before we get focused in on this game, Catawba Ridge, the Copperheads on the road at Indian Land. Catawba Ridge takes that undefeated record on the road, a senior-laden football team. They don't have to go far. They go down Highway 160. They hit 521. They don't even have to turn right anymore. They done moved the high school up close to 160. They going to get to Lowe's, and they going to say, let's go whip the Warriors, and they going to.
Yeah, I think Catawba Ridge, I thought this game might be a good game earlier in the season.
Right.
Indian Land started out the gate. I think they were 4-5-0, but they've really stumbled the last couple of weeks, and I think it's probably because of the competition. I think Northwestern handled them pretty well.
Right.
So, yeah, I think Catawba Ridge is going to win and win big tonight and just continue to roll.
No doubt about it. No doubt about
That
it.
Catawba Ridge football team is nasty. They had a lot of high aspirations. That potential aspirations starting the season, that team could potentially win the 4A state championship. Big game next week in District 3 Stadium, I believe it is, where the Catawba Ridge Copperheads take on the Trojans of Northwestern for the region championship, provided both win tonight.
That'll be a good one.
I think that'll be a fantastic one. Be completely different teams. Northwestern's going to throw the ball. Catawba Ridge is going to run the ball. That defense of Catawba Ridge is going to get after the quarterback of Northwestern. Is he going to be able to get enough time to throw the ball down the field and beat the one-on-one coverage? I don't know. Going to be a tough one. But I like Catawba Ridge big tonight at Indian Land.
Yep.
With that said, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll settle in on this one. The Cyclones welcome the Red Devils from Clinton. And we'll talk a little bit about this game. We'll talk a little bit about the Red Devils coming in undefeated, ranked number 3 in the state, ready to take on the Cyclones.
Tonight's Chester Cyclone football game is made possible in part by Hamilton, Delaney, Greer, and Cotton, attorneys at law providing legal services since 1907. Attorneys Milton Hamilton, Greg Delaney, Brian Greer, and Nick Cotton have a general practice of law with offices in Chester and Rock Hill. Hamilton, Delaney, Greer, and Cotton support all the schools in Chester County.
Tonight's Cyclone football made possible by Burns Chevrolet Cadillac in Rock Hill, serving the area since 1923 and located off I-77, exit 82B in Rock Hill. Burns has new Chevrolet and Cadillacs along with a selection of pre-owned vehicles, including buy here, pay here. Burns Chevrolet Cadillac, 800-681-7198 or online at BurnsChevrolet.com. Your right choice.
For over 77 years, Fairfield Electric Cooperative has delivered electric energy to our consumer owners. As a Touchstone Energy Cooperative, we are part of a nationwide community of local, not-for-profit cooperatives committed to enhancing our customers' lives and livelihoods by providing reliable power, high-quality customer-focused service, and valuable products and services. We're Fairfield Electric Cooperative, your Touchstone Energy partner. Proud to be a part of tonight's Cyclone football coverage on WRBK.
Relax on and off the field with Founders Federal Credit Union. With services like Founders Online and Founders App, you'll enjoy local personalized service. Joining Founders Federal Credit Union is easy. Relax, join Founders.com or at one of the more than 30 office locations to see if you qualify for membership. Relax, go Cyclones. Services require credit evaluation. Terms and conditions apply. Founders Federal Credit Union is federally insured by NCUA.
All right, back here at Cyclone Stadium, Clint Davis, Jeff Kerr, Jim Fuller. All right, man, we're getting ready for a game. There's a little bit of excitement, at least from our perspective, up here, and a different feel, a buzz in the Cyclone Stadium. The Cyclones getting ready to host the Red Devils of Clinton for the Region 4 Championship. Let me talk to you a little bit about what's on the line here for the Cyclones tonight. The winner of this football game gets the number 1 seed from our region in the playoffs, provided if it's Clinton, they win next week. Cyclones win, then they get the number 1 seed. Number 1 seed will square off against either Blue Ridge or Travelers Rest, who is the number 3 or the number 4 team from Region 3. Powdersville and BHP are going to be the Region 1, the number 1 and number 2 teams out of that region. So they'll square off. They'll both be home. The winner of this game will be home next week, and the loser of this game will be home in the playoffs as well. And they'll be welcoming in either Blue Ridge or Travelers Rest. If the Cyclones were to win and get the number 1 seed, they'll have a home playoff game against the number 4 team of Region 3. That'll either be Blue Ridge or Travelers Rest. If they win, they'll be at home the second round. If they win the second round, home the third round, and they won't have to go on the road till the upper state championship unless there's an upset. So if it's a 4 seed, then the Cyclones, whoever wins this game in the bottom of the bracket, would host the lower seed at home. So it could potentially be a home run through the playoffs for the number 1 seed. Number 2 seed, loser of this game, loser of the region, gets the number 2 seed of the region. Home playoff game against the number 3 seed of Region 3. That's either Blue Ridge or Travelers Rest. If they win, then they go on the road to the number 1 seed of Region 2. Region 2. That's either going to be BHP, Belton Honeypath, or Powdersville, most likely, provided they win their opening round of football game as well. Win, then you come home. If you win that game, then you come home for round 3, and that would be against D.W. Daniel, most likely.
More than likely.
At home. So if you get the number 2 seed, you're probably going to have to play D.W. Daniel. The question is, 2 seed potentially gets them at home in the third round. 1 seed potentially gets them at Daniel in the 4th round. I'd almost like to have him in the 3rd round at home, wouldn't you?
I want him here.
That's right.
The only reason to go over there is to go to Smoking Pig.
D.W. Daniel making their way over. So, as we get started tonight, we'll talk about that stuff, and I apologize. We talked through the national anthem to the band, and we apologize for that. Let's talk a little bit about Clinton as we get going. Clinton's opponents are combined on the season, and this was the question really coming into the game. I think it's got to be answered. We'll find out at 7:30 kick. Between 7:30 and 9:30 tonight. Is Clinton as good as their record, which I think they are really good. They're coming off of a victory where they ran over 500 yards, set a school record rushing against Woodruff last week, scored 70 points. But their opponents on the season are combined 21 and 44. They haven't played anyone who's had a winning record when they played them. If you just take it and say, all right, when Clinton played their actual opponents, the combined record was 18 and 47. So if you just take it when they actually played them, but as it goes, because Chapman's won 3 games since they played. So that's a question that really, I think, has got to be answered. They haven't had to play a game. They only played 1 game into the 4th quarter. That was Newberry, and it was 34-20, and Newberry played them hard. And so if Chester, I think one of the things Coach Floyd's wanting to do is they want to hit them hard, they want to play them tough, and they want to get them to the 3rd and 4th quarter and make them play a football game at the end.
Yeah, you know, I don't care what level you play in, what sports you play in, Pee-wees, high school, middle school, whatever. When you win all your games that you've been on your schedule, that's hard to do.
Oh, absolutely. I'm not knocking.
No, I know you're not. But I also think who you play does matter. and I would argue this might be the best team that they've played all year tonight.
Now, I don't think there's any question about
now. We got to go out and play.
Right.
They're good. They won all their games for a reason. They believe in themselves, and so, we're just going to come out and hit them in the mouth. And again, I said this earlier, but we got to avoid, we got to come off that emotional high in the first quarter, and it's going to get a little chippy here and there, and just play football, and see what happens at the end of the night.
Yeah, you got to keep your heads. Yeah. Somebody, what are your thoughts?
Well, I cannot put it any better than Jeff did. We just cannot make mistakes. We cannot beat ourselves. We got to play our game. Very, very, very few penalties, no turnovers, and just march it down the field. And we can do that. It's just a matter of will we do that.
Oh, absolutely. I think you got to get, they're going to run the ball 90% of the time. You got to get penetration. You got to be disruptive. They're running on a shotgun wing tee, and you got to be disruptive. You got to get into the end zone. I mean, you got to be disruptive. Get in the backfield. Stay at home. Make short tackles. One of the things we've struggled with in the season against running backs, we saw it last week, Jim, just not making short tackles. We saw it against Catawba Ridge as well. And so we got to put shoulders in the people, get them on the ground, swarm to the football, and make them drive the ball long term. Kill big plays.
If you touch them, you got to put them on the ground.
Right.
It's just that simple. No arm tackling or miss blocks in the offensive line. We just got to play a good, clean game.
Yeah. So with the exception of 165-yard run last week in the second half against Emerald, we held their running backs to 20 yards.
Yeah.
And that's what the Cyclones have got to do tonight and avoid the big play. Let's take a break, and we'll be back. 6 minutes to kick, it says on the clock. We'll be back. This Cyclone Football on WRBK.
Tonight's Cyclone football coverage on WRBK made possible in part by Dr. Sam Stone and his staff at Lowry's Family Medicine in Chester. Lowry's Family Medicine provides health care from birth to the golden ages and is located at 517 Doctors Court off of Wilson Street Extension. Dr. Sam Stone and his staff are proud supporters of the Chester Cyclones.
Made possible in part by Joe's Towing and Wrecker Service. Joe's Towing and Wrecker Service located at 2581 Lancaster Road in Chester. They offer local and long-distance towing, heavy-duty towing, and service 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Joe's also does big truck repair, truck and tractor tire service. More information is available at 803-581-5720 or 803-385-8610. That's Joe's Towing and Wrecker Service.
Tonight's broadcast of Cyclone football made possible in part by Chester County Natural Gas Authority. As Chester County Natural Gas celebrates 60 years of service to their customers, they remind you natural gas is the most efficient and effective way to heat your water, heat your home, dry your clothes, and cook your meals. Contact Chester County Natural Gas Authority Monday to begin enjoying the comfort and affordability of clean burning and efficient natural gas.
Barron Funeral Home at 133 Wiley Street in Chester and Dancer Baker Funeral Home located at 26 Underwood Avenue in Great Falls are proud to help bring you tonight's broadcast of the Chester High School football game. They wish the Cyclones great success this season. The staff of Barron Funeral Home and Dancer Baker Funeral Home continue to serve the people of Chester County with courtesy and dignity.
All right, we're back here at Chester High School. We got a number of fans out in the stands on both sides. I think we'll have a big crowd by the time this thing gets underway. Let me give you this first of all for the captains. Number 51 for Clinton tonight. That is going to be an offensive lineman starting, Nalim Mays. Number 61 is going to also be one of the captains, Jay Martin, and it looks like number 23 is a captain, and that's going to be, well, it's not 23 because I don't have a 23 on my board. So maybe 25. And that's going to be Brett Young, and so,
Bryson James.
25, Bryson James. For the Cyclones, number 31, Shadim McCullough, and number 3, Andre Evans. And then, of course, the seniors are co-captains. Number 58, Gabe Hope. Number 40, Jalen Moss. Number 42, Cortez Woods. Number 61, Jordan Land. And number 75, Joaz McCullough. Let me give you the starting lineups offensively for the Clinton Red Devils tonight. Up front is going to be number 51, Nalim Naeem Mays. He's a left guard. Number 61 is going to get the start at the left tackle. Left guard, Jay Martin. The center is going to be number 62 tonight, and that's going to be Ryan Gordon. Number 56 gets the start at the right guard, and that's DeQuavius Dindy. And number 55 gets the start at the right tackle, and that's Dre Aiken. Every one of their starting offensive linemen are seniors. Quarterback tonight will be number 12, Bryce Young. He's filling in for the injured starting quarterback of the season who got injured last week, torn ACL. We wish him the best. Number 24, tailback Jaden Robinson, who's a junior. Number 22 will also be on the field. That's Trey Cook. He's a junior. Number 25, Bryson James, a senior, will be a running back. And the wide receivers, number 5 tonight, will be split out wide. Caden Crawford, they're not going to throw it a whole lot. He's going to be in at tight end. And number 2 will be out there as well, Justin Copeland. He is a senior. For the Cyclones tonight, it will be up front for the Cyclones. Number 52, C.J. McCree. Number 61, Jordan Land on the right side of the offensive line. Jeremiah Gladden will be the center. Trevante Weldon and Joez McCullough on the left side of the offensive line. In the backfield will be number 31, Shadim McCullough, and Trooper Floyd will be calling the signals, a sophomore who is playing in his 10th game as a starter for the Cyclones. 12th game as a starter for the Cyclones. Spread out wide for the Cyclones will be number 2, Reggie Heath. Number 3, Andre Evans in the slot. Number 5, Kyan Kennedy at the tight end position. And we'll see a variety of other receivers out there tonight as well. We saw some of Amari Simpson in the slot last week, and we'll see some of Zeke Evans. We'll see DJ Stevenson. We'll also see Sidorian Pendergrass on the field for the Cyclones tonight at the wide receiver position, and we'll make all of their notes as they get the football as the night goes on. I didn't see who won the toss, but it looks like
Clinton's going to receive.
The football. They're going to be rolling from right to left. They're wearing white pants, white jerseys, and red helmets. Let's take a quick 1-minute break, Bill, and we'll be back. This is Chester High School football on WRBK.